Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Outs here. Wow, Wednesday, Wildcard Wednesday. I've got a pack of cards that I'm going to open on the show today, and we'll do a live react to me opening this pack of cards that I bought from the NBA restaurant in downtown Toronto on the Queen's Quay at Monique's Superfan's birthday. That's right. Also, we're talking today about Jakob Poeltl. Jakob Poeltl earlier this week signed an extension with the Toronto Raptors, which will keep him in a Raptors jersey till 2030, which is fantastic. Unless he gets traded, but I don't think he'll get traded. I think that we really have shown that Masai, Bobby have said that they highly value having a center of his talent on our team. And yeah, we value it as fans because we like winning and having a very, very good, sound, solid, consistent center like Jakob Poeltl playing for the Raptors. And, you can't put a price on loyalty and devotion. And Jakob signing this contract this week said, I would want to be a Raptor for life. That's awesome. As Josh Lewenberg noted, though, people that have said that in the past don't end up staying with the Raptors. But let's make this maybe the first time, Josh. How about that? Maybe I know Siakam said it. I know other people said it in the past too. And, as Josh put it also on Blue Skies, it's just the nature of the current NBA. It just isn't conducive for players to play their whole entire career on one NBA team. That there's going to be shuffling up of the rosters in the league, no matter what, over time. And it's very, very, very rare in today's NBA to spend your whole entire career just on one NBA team. There are a few guys that are doing it right now that are lucky. Steph Curry, maybe the most notable one, Draymond Green, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He also has only played for one team. So, it's not that Giannis will get to do, Jakob will get to do this because Jakob has already played for for the Spurs. But yeah, he wants to finish his career here at least. Jakob Poeltl really does love the Raptors, guys. He really does love Toronto. He really loves the fans. He loves his teammates, and he sees the promise in the players that are on the team with him. Yak's a smart guy, man. He spent a couple years in San Antonio. He was, like DeMar, kind of traded out for these guys who came in and did the championship. Jakob wears number 19 on the down low because of this. And, he doesn't have like ill feelings against it. He understands it's business. It's just how it is. And in some ways, I'm sure Jakob thinks of his time in San Antonio as being very valuable, very much something that he was very happy he got because he got to work with Greg Popovich in his career. And that's a huge honor. And that's very valuable. It's like going to the grand champion of martial arts in your martial arts field and going and studying under them. It's like it's a prestigious thing. So him getting years under Greg Popovich in San Antonio, even if it was not in the cards for him where his heart was in Toronto, it still was a very valuable period of time for him to go. Now, when he was there, he played with a lot of young players. And the Spurs had their problems. They were not the normal Spurs perennially in the playoffs, and they struggled. And, Jakob got a little mix of good and bad players around him when he was down in San Antonio. He got a mix of guys that are really up and coming and stars coming up. And then he got a mix of guys who are kind of just hanging around the league and not really doing so. I think when Jak sees his team that he's on now here in Toronto, he sees a mix of really promising young players that he likes a lot, and that it's not as murky about the makeup of the roster as far as their potential and what they could do. Jakob Poeltl is no dummy. He can look at his teammates and he can see these guys are going to get better and that it's going to be fun to be winning with them. So I think that the vote of confidence that Poeltl is showing by doing this extension with the Raptors is very telling. You think he's going to want to waste his time in the league messing around with a team that's not serious about doing things the right way? No, he wouldn't want to do that. So it's really a sign of confidence. in some ways, the Poeltl extension from him. And, I think that all the statements about Yak coming the other way from Bobby Webster and other people saying that this guy is a top 10 center, this guy's a two-way center, this guy is a championship piece, this guy is this guy's that. I think it's all true. I think it's all true. The winning percentage for the Raptors with Jakob Poeltl in the line compared to him without is very jarring and stark. And you can see the difference when Yak is available for the Raptors and when he isn't. So this is a happy event this week that Yak has signed this extension and he's sticking around. And if you want to know if they're a real Raptors, positive Raptors fan, just ask them how they feel about Jakob getting signed for this long. And if they have a bitter reaction, well, they don't have our right things at heart. They really don't. They really, really don't. All right, let's check in with the chat and see what's going on with you guys. All kinds of stuff on the show today. Of course, the regular stuff, the Instagram stories, the Raptors Reddit reaction, and also, ESPN's got an article out on us again. Well, not on us, but on everybody. They've done the tiers the last 2 days. They did the Western Conference tiers yesterday, and they've come out with the Eastern tiers today. And they've kind of they've hedged their bets on it. Now, I don't get this. I get this. All right. Cleveland and New York are in the anything short of the finals is a failure. And I'm going to tell you right now, New York's going to fail. They're not going to get there, and they're going to be a failure already. I'm going to mark it down. I'll write it in permanent ink. I'm not writing this in pencil. The Knicks will fail this year, and they will not go to the finals. I can tell you that right now. Cleveland, yeah, they've got a good shot, but I don't know if their shuffle up is the right one. There's some really weird, I don't know. Lonzo Ball, how can you trust him? Is what I'm going to say real quick. That's what I'm going to say. Now, the next tier is tier 2 with teams on the cusp after reloading. So they're on the cusp. And this is where we should be, honestly. We should be on the cusp after reloading. Orlando Magic are here. Atlanta Hawks are here. And then Philadelphia 76ers. Well, you can go by talent on a piece of paper, but it doesn't mean in reality that shit's going to work. And Paul George is involved. Joel Embiid is involved. Yeah, don't get all thinking you're going to be making noise again this year, Philadelphia. Because honestly, y'all are going to suck. And I'm telling you right now, the Raptors are going to have a way better record than the Sixers this year. Way, way better record. And but I mean, I can see why they put Atlanta in this tier, but we should be in this tier also. If they're going to put these 3 teams here, none of them have any better chance than we do right now, as far as Orlando, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. So you're going to put them in that tier? You're crazy. You are crazy. Now, they do say on our thing that we should be maybe a tier 2 up, but that we're out of this tier, apparently. So we don't have a chance to be in the same tier as Philadelphia. Y'all are crazy. Philadelphia's going to be a disaster again. There's no guarantees Joel Embiid will ever play healthy ever again in the NBA. Y'all are supposing a lot with them in the favor of them. And in some ways, you're supposing a lot against us, in a favor against us. The third tier is interesting because that's where the Celtics is. They didn't just automatically put the Celtics up there because they understand what's going on. Long shots with pedigree, upside, or desperation dressed as hope. Celtics, Pistons, Bucks. Yeah, I don't know. This is a dumb tier system. I don't even understand why you guys do this. You really do want to shape perception of the hierarchy of the NBA for fans to believe that ESPN's the expert. They should know who the tiers are and who's going to be the best teams in the East. It's absolute horse crap a lot of times. Absolute horse crap. See, they put Indiana here. Indiana was a representative of the Eastern Conference Finals this year in the playoffs, and they got them in tier 4. That's such disrespect, man. They're disrespecting the Pacers. I'm telling you, man, you can't go from the best team in the East to the 8th best team in the East. I'm sorry, even if Halliburton's out, they're going to figure things out with Siakam around them to an extent better than this. Then they got tier 5, play-in possibilities. And they got the Miami Heat, the Chicago Bulls, and us. We're in tier 5. And this is the copy they wrote about the Raptors, guys. Of the teams in this designation, the Raptors possess enough talent to rise a tier or 2. So they're admitting that we could go up to either caught in the middle or long shots with pedigree, upside, or desperation dressed as hope. Nah, man, we're a team on the cusp after reloading. We're tier 2, you idiots. And I'm bona fide going to say that that's where we are right now without even this shaky gaslighting write up about us right here. This is what they're saying. Their best players are still young and all sat out a decent amount of time last season. Emmanuel quickly sat out 49 games. RJ Barrett sat out 24. Scotty Barnes sat out 17. Perhaps more noteworthy, 27-year-old Brandon Ingram, traded from New Orleans at the trade deadline, has yet to play for the Raptors. None of this means the squad will be a perfect fit. Okay, Debbie Downer. And it certainly doesn't guarantee the team's young reserves are sufficient for a playoff run. See, man, these guys are writing it in a way that is not writing it in a positive way. They're writing for our failure. They don't want to see the possibility that this is all going to work out and we're going to be badasses. So understand this, Raptors fans. When you get media from the States, they're gaslighting us to think we're going to be bad, even though we are good. I can tell we're going to be very good. Our talent is very good, but they're going to try and tell us that we're not going to be. Just don't believe them, please. Seriously. Perception is not reality as much as people are trying to force perception to be reality in this world right now. Let's just put it that way. The truth and reality will shine through in the outcomes of what happens. Trust me. Trust me. Yeah. And it says also, but there's ample upside that could allow this team to be more than the sum of its parts at some point. Yeah. These guys are jerks. They only put the Hornets, the Wizards, and the Nets below us on this tier list. Just wrong, ESPN. I don't understand how anybody can think y'all are credible at this point. Seriously, you employ Stephen A. Smith, for Pete's sake. That's right. All right, let's see. Trevor J's words of wisdom this morning. When you find no solution to a problem, it's probably not a problem to be solved, but rather a truth to be accepted. Wow, man. Trevor, I envisioned you sitting on a rock next to a creek in a yoga pose with your hands like this, saying this kind of stuff. It's like I came around the corner in the woods and there's Trevor J sitting on a rock next to a creek in Zen mode. And I said, speak of a truth, Master Zen, Trevor J. And he says, oh, wise one, wise child. When you find no solution to a problem, it's probably not a problem to be solved, but rather a truth to be accepted. That's deep, man. Trevor, wow. Wow, I'm going to give you a dunk for this one, man. You've gotten a couple of dunks for your words of wisdom lately. This one's deep, man. This one's deep right here. Because it's true. Like, if you can't go the other way, well, it's probably just a truth. It's not yeah, man, that's so good. 114 for Trevor on the dunk list as of this morning. Good stuff, man. That's good stuff, man. Zen words of wisdom. Trevor Jace talking about the WNBA, and the Washington Mystics beat the Chicago Sky. And the Liberty beat the Aces. 4 games today, one at 11 a.m. and one at 12 p.m. Yeah, they had games going on during our stream yesterday. I was like looking on our fantasy WNBA league, and the scores started changing. I'm like, wait, what? The scores are changing. Are they playing right now? And they were. They were playing that early in the morning, like around 11 yesterday. It's crazy. 11 a.m. start for WNBA. Wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's see the referees for today's games. We got 4 games on the slot. Seattle at Connecticut. Amy Bonner will be the crew chief with Tony Patillo and Sarah Williams in the referee crew. Golden State is visiting Indiana Fever. Tim Green is the crew chief. Randy Richardson, Gerda Gatling. Minnesota at Phoenix. Jenna Renault will run the show with Charles Watson and Jeffrey Smith. And Dallas is at Chicago. Eric Bruton is the crew chief with Blanca Burns and Catherine Chang. Yeah, they announced the WNBA All-Star teams yesterday. Then they did a really interesting job of putting teammates with teammates for the most part. Now, the New York Liberty ladies did not get put on the same team, but they made a trade of the coaches, because they wanted the Minnesota Lynx's coach to coach Collier's All-Star team, because it's nice and fits. And well, yeah, there were a lot of like putting them all together. Like Caitlin Clark got her 2 Indiana Fever teammates on her All-Star team, so she can play with them. But yeah, most of them are together, teammates for the same teams that are in the All-Star game for WNBA. But there are some that are split up, like Brianna Stewart and Ionescu. And also, Gabby Williams of Seattle is separated from her two Seattle teammates that are on the other side. So, yeah, very, very interesting all-star teams. And I like the selections. I feel like the women that made the WNBA all-star teams this year were very fitting. And it's nice. And, of course, because there's not as many teams in the league, all teams get an all-star. Every single WNBA team has one all-star representative at least, which is awesome. Trevor's saying that WNBA preparing to push the season schedule into November 2026. This is interesting. So you're saying that they want to make the schedule longer and that they're going to play into November. Man, that's going to make some crossover for me because the NBA schedule is going to start in October. And that may mean Lex is doing double time with juggling the Toronto tempo with the Toronto Raptors. So we're gonna have to see how that works out. And now you're saying that it's not the schedule to go into November, but the playoffs and the championship may not be decided until November. Either way, more WNBA games added to the schedule is great for the league. Trust me, it's great. CBL done the same thing. They added more games to their schedule this season. And it's worked out really well for them. Trevor's saying that CBL have 24 players who will play at Summer League. That's fantastic. Yeah, we're already seeing some of them play. Niagara River Lions, Omari Moore, really playing really well for San Antonio Spurs. Also, let's go to the Instagram stories. I've got a story for Omari right now. I love Omari Moore. He's a great young guy, and I wish him so well. I wish he had worked out on 905 more. But he's doing great in his professional career either way. Omari has signed as of today with Valencia, and he will return to EuroLeague and play for Valencia this season. It's fantastic. So, yeah, he's been in a lot of different teams, jumping around. CBL with the Niagara River Lions, winning the CBL championship last year. Right now, he's on the Spurs Summer League team, playing with the youngsters for the Spurs, like Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant. And, well, he's going to Italy to play his next stint, signing with Valencia. Congratulations to you, Omari Moore. Emmanuel Quickly is at Remy's in Hollywood, Florida, running a pickup game right now. He's looking very fast, jumping to the corner, hitting a corner three. Yeah, Emmanuel, you're a badass. We can't wait to see you come back and shut the haters up. Because, honestly, these haters are being stupid about how they're looking at the Raptors like ESPN. And we need to show these guys that you guys are worth your money, because that's what they're saying, Emmanuel. You're not worth this money that you're getting paid. And I think that they're absolutely wrong. And I can't wait to see you show them, prove them that they are wrong. So wrong. Yeah, lots of highlights of him in pickup games. And he is at Remy, where Gary Trent Jr. likes to work out there also in the offseason in Hollywood, Florida. So he's down south. There they are this morning, 7:15 in the morning, out running on the track. It looks like Emmanuel was doing laps around an outdoor track in South Florida this morning at 7:15 in the morning. Sandro Mamu showing a highlight from his Summer League experience where he dunked on this dude bad. It was on the Celtics too. Good job, Sandro. Yeah, he was Milwaukee Bucks Summer League. And there's Marjan Beauchamp. He's dapping. And, yeah, he took that guy to school and dunked it on his head. Man, who is this? That's right, Mamu. That's right. That's who it is. Kyle Lowry's on the links, hitting golf balls around with Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine says, get a golf partner like Kyle Lowry, because when Zach teed off, Lowry yelled something funny down the court. So, yeah, you go, Grote, Kyle Lowry. That's right. Broke baby stunner. Eugene Omeroy echoing SGA. It's the summer of SGA. MVP award, league scoring title, NBA championship, finals MVP, a $285 million Supermax extension, first signature shoe release, and now SGA will grace the cover of the new NBA 2K26 video game, per sources. There you go. Tough. Eugene approves of his good friend Shea. That's right. There you go. Love to see that. Let's see. Jamal Shed is playing the clip that was released yesterday by Toronto Raptors Open Gym and Bell of the Raptors reporting to the Wynn Ballroom Coliseum, Wynn Casino Ballroom, where they've gone the last couple of years to train for Summer League. And, well, I was wondering about this yesterday. I said, are we going to pony up the money to get the Steve Wynn ballroom in their casino? And well, they did. They got the room back. It's confirmed. Trevor, your assignment is there. You need to go and find this ballroom where the Raptors practice at Summer League in Las Vegas and get a picture of yourself inside it. I don't care if anybody else is in there working out or anything, but we need you to locate the ballroom where the Raptors are practicing, at least. I know it may be tough, and I know you're not staying in any casinos. You're staying at your friend's house. But, man, that would be awesome if you could locate the Raptors' infamous ballroom practice facility. That's right. But they're in there, and they're enjoying it. Jamal Shed, Smiles, Arish Shamshay, Jakob Poeltl. They're ready to get back to work. And we see a little snippet of James Wade with his introductory speech saying, guys, I know you guys all have NBA dreams, but you don't start an NBA dream. All NBA dreams start here in Summer League. And that's right. And they look really excited. Elijah Martin, Chucky Hepburn, Colin Murray-Boyles, welcome to the NBA. You're in the Summer League, guys. And it's now time to get to work. That's right. And the second-year guys, it's all old hat to them. They're showing up. Jonathan Mobo, big smiles on his face. Jamison Battle coming back in. They know what the drill is. And they're ready to resume their NBA careers in their second years as second-year players. Yeah, Matt Devlin showing off the highlights of Jamison Battle posted by the admin. I feel like Raptors admin is hyping up our guys for Summer League to show off your good skills. So you go to Vegas and you kick some major ass. So, yeah, Jamison, you got the treatment yesterday. And, yeah, people like it. Jonathan Mobo posting the Jamison Battle highlights, too, because he's a good friend of his, and he's very proud of his rookie class teammate. That's right. He's very, very proud of those guys, all the dunks and stuff. They did a good job last year, and we want to see built on it. Built on it. That's right. There you go. Yeah. There's actually a manual passing to Mobo. So he's been running with the runs with quickly. So Jonathan's there with him, and they're dunking with him. So that's a really, really good thing. Let's see. There's Ulrich in the ballroom, the famous ballroom. I still think that the ceilings are a detriment because they're a distraction to your shots. But the Raptors have been doing this for a while, and it's working. So they might as well keep using it. Yeah, the ceiling does look higher, though, in this picture for some reason. Looks higher than usual. I thought the ceiling was too low to have basketball in there, but it looks higher than usual in this picture for some reason. Jamal McGlure out on the street. He's taking pictures with fans. That's cool. Jamal McGlure, Canadian Toronto Raptors legend. That's right. There's the Liberty Grand and his big events coming up. All kinds of fun stuff getting ready for the Revelers and the big parade in August for Carnival. That's right here in Toronto. Caravana. That's what it's all about. Also, out at Scarborough Shooting Stars, there's going to be Oba night, July the 11th. That is the night when the Raptors are playing against the Bulls on Summer League. But, yeah, down at the Pan Am Center on Morningside near 401, they're going to be having a special night for the mascot, Oba, right? That's what his name is, Oba? Yeah, so come on down for Oba night on July the 11th. That's this Friday, 7:30 p.m. Ticketmaster has the tickets. CBL Action, Scarborough Shooting Stars. Come on down and check out the Canadian Elite Basketball League action. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Also, Jamal's got Revelers and Ruckus on blast. It's an event coming up. Your future self has already laughed, and join them. Get your tickets. That's July the 26th at the Rama Gaming House and Kennedy Road. They're going to have some comedy with Keisha Brown, Kevin Christopher, Cliff Knight. Yeah, music by DJ Mel Boogie. And hosted by Marlon Palmer. So come on down for a ruckus with the Revelers on July July 26th. That's right. Jakob Poeltl posting the highlights of the rookies from last year, and Jamison Battle also. Love to see the solidarity with the rookie class from last year on the Raptors. Norman Powell saying goodbye to the Clippers as he goes off to South Beach to join the Miami Heat after getting traded to them a couple days ago. And yeah, the Clippers Nation is giving him some love on his way out, on his way over. Yeah, so cool stuff. Welcome, Norman. There you go. He's now going down there. And it's, what is this? Somebody call him Uncle? Who called him Uncle? I don't know who that is. But yeah, Norman's coming. Unc's coming. That's right. Lloyd is celebrating SGA on the cover of the 2K26 video game coming out. And Lou Dort is celebrating his teammate SGA being on that cover also. We got our producer, a tourist, for To The Point with a beautiful sunset over in Lithuania on his Instagram stories. Raptors 905 is doing a camp August the 18th to the 22nd, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., ages 7 to 14. It's a $300 price. This will be at the Humber College Athletic Building at Humber College in Etobicoke. So, yeah, if you have a child that you want to have a camp, you can do Raptors 905 camp in August. So check it out, everybody. Coach Andrew Jones is getting the clips, even though he's in Vegas at Summer League. He's getting the clips sent to him by his wife of Ava be hooping, and she be hooping still, even though Coach is away right now at Summer League. Coach Dad is away. Well, Ava still be hooping. In fact, she's playing some games against other kids, and she's just draining shots left and right. That girl's going to be good, man. I'm telling you right now. Ava Jones, you're on your way. I can tell. You're on your way. His son is also, they're learning to skate here. And the kid has fallen about 50 times, but he keeps getting up. That's right. That's right. That's the way to do it. You fall down, you get up. You fall down, you get up. That's right. That's it right there. Let's see what else we got. We got Orlando Robinson still working out over at the Tarkanian Center. And the Raptors official putting on blast the extension for Jakob Poeltl, our subject for today. There's the Instagram stories for today. Congratulations, Amari Moore, on signing with Valencia. That's right. Boom goes at Dynamite. Yeah, CBL always got good stuff going on, including the party of the Oba night on Friday night at Pan Am Center. So nice, fun basketball activity in the middle of summer for not an expensive price. So check it out. Seriously. Trevor's saying that Mike Brown plans to give Rick Brunson a reduced role on the coaching staff. You know, this is a weird situation. You've got a guy who's been an assistant coach on a team for a while. In some ways, he politicked and persuaded his son to not want to re-sign with the Dallas Mavericks and to come to New York and play with him as the coach. In some ways, you could say Rick Brunson was the number one recruiter of Jalen Brunson getting to the New York Knicks from the Mavs. And in some ways, is he owed for recruiting like that to be a prominent coach in the coaching staff? Well, last year, there were murmurs and complaints from other Knick players that Rick Brunson should not have such a huge role because of his being the father of the franchise player on the team. You know, I get this. And in some ways, I can see the conflicts of interest. Now, let's think about this. I went over the Eastern Conference tiers as ESPN sees it earlier. They put the Knicks up there with the Cavs in the top tier. They're saying that if they don't win and if they don't get to the finals, it's a failure, their season. That's what they're saying. Well, I'm going to say this right now. Y'all don't build your team right in New York. You really don't. You don't look out for dysfunction. You don't look out for toxicity. In fact, you guys are so used to toxic on the New York Knicks and the New York Knicks fan base and just having to do with the New York Knicks that you don't know any other way to have a non-toxic situation. Whether it's your crazy-ass owner suing other teams and sexually harassing women, whether it's your assistant coach who's the father of one of the main players and the conflict of interest that is. You don't think that OG and McHale and those other guys are all kind of like, yeah, what is this situation with the Brunsons? Seriously. Some of them don't like it. I'm just saying there's a lot of threads to be pulled apart with the roster and the makeup of the New York Knicks. There's all kinds of different ways because of the way they've done business that it could just fall apart in any moment. I do not think the Knicks are together as a unit. I think that, you got some ties with Villanova, but there's some weird splits on that team with chemistry. And the fact that, people were openly bickering about the star player's dad being one of the coaches on the team at the end of the season, well, that shows that it's not a good sunny situation on the down low. We can go back and look at when OG was chastising Karl Anthony Towns on the bench after one of the playoff games this year. And yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, things are not rosy there under the surface. And that's why I have no confidence in them this year. You add in that you got a new head coach coming in, trying to start things. And boy, they're really trying to lay it on thick. You could put it this way. He's bringing a championship pedigree. Bullshit. He coached LeBron. That's how he got a championship. It's like, look, man, Mike Brown is not a bad NBA coach, but let's not act like he's like some sort of top tier all-time NBA coach. He's not. And he's had just as bad experiences in coaching as good experiences. In fact, the good experience happened to have to do with the really good players he had. But had really bad teams around him too, and they've absolutely failed and been shitty too. So whatever you need to do to polish a turd and kind of make this whole situation seem good in the press. It's like the opposite of what they're doing to us. They'll sully us and put us down and say all the ways we could fail. And they'll talk about just the slim chance that they could succeed and say that that's what's going to happen for the Knicks. That's the crazy thing. I can see it already. It's going to fall apart really bad this year for New York. And it's because there's underlying shit like Rick Brunson in this team. If they really want to be healthy, they fire Rick Brunson and say, yeah, there's a conflict of interest. Your son is the most important player on our team. And in some ways, we don't want this kind of weird, like, animosity, jealousy, or weird, like, thinking, well, that's why Jalen gets the ball all the time. Because his dad is in there advocating on the coaching staff and kind of running things. And other guys are like, why the hell did Dante DiVincenzo get yelling at him? Seriously, where's that energy from? They're saying, oh, no, they're friends. They're good. They're good. Man, no, that energy was weird, man. I'm telling you right now. So I'm just saying, New York, you're in a weird place. You got to placate Rick Brunson because he delivered his son. But in some ways, he's toxic. And in some ways, I don't even think that Mike Brown wants him on his coaching staff. But he has to for some reason. That is all the elements in the world for a toxic brew that'll stew for this whole entire season on the download that nobody knows about. Seriously. So, yeah, he's going to give him a reduced role. It's because he can't fire him and get him off the staff. He has to keep him, but he's at least going to say, no, he's got a reduced role. Oh, man, that's gold right there. Trevor's saying, Yacht, one of the best centers in the NBA in championship, is a championship piece. I believe that. And, listen, he's not flashy. He's not extraordinary in some ways, but he is in some ways also because he's the only player to ever come to the NBA from Austria. He's the only Austrian player born in the NBA's history. So, yeah, he's special. Oh, yeah, he's special. And he loves being a Raptor. And we love Jakob right back. That's right. I remember a couple years ago when Jakob was on the Spurs, I wrote him a message on Facebook and I said, I hope one day you can come back and play for the Raptors again. I wondered if he saw that. Well, he did. And he did. He came back and he was very happy to come back and play for the Raptors. It was fantastic. Mark Tavares is here. Good to see Raptor freak Mark Tavares on a Wednesday morning. Pretty sure Yak said he wants to be a Raptor for life. As he ages, he will be a great vet leader. Yak will be like Udonis Haslem. Yeah, I don't mind him being in that kind of role, being around and just being a good vet. I mean, the things that he provides for the Raptors are intimidation, protection, strength. Don't punk us kind of energy. You can't punk us. I got big, hairy shoulders, and I will regulate if there are some problems on the court. That's right. Oh, did I hit you with my forearm by accident? Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. Yeah, receipts can be paid with Jakob Poeltl. Receipts can be paid. That's right. Yeah, I'm excited about this. And, people are talking about timelines and stuff like that. Well, F your timelines. Look, this man's on an extension till 2030 now. It's so good. It's so good. And the money's going to be really good. Kaloy's here. Good to see Carlo JS. I wish that the NBA has a rule where if you draft the player, 50% of your max salary is taken off the cap hit. That's interesting. In some ways, you're getting into the bookkeeping. And my eyes glaze over when that gets into the money side of things. In some ways, I want to talk basketball, but it's an interesting idea, Chloe. In some ways, I don't totally understand what you're saying, but in some ways, I won't poo-poo it either because maybe it will work really well. Who knows? Who knows? Good to see you, and I hope Santino's doing great this morning. Fiercey's here. Good morning, MJ. Hope everything's going really well in Ottawa for you today. Good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. So happy Jakob is locked in for the upcoming years. We will get our chip. That's right. We can get that second Larry O'Brien here in Toronto with the Raptors, with RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, Brandon Ingram, and Jakob Poeltl, Grady Dick. Ooh, it'll be so sweet. It'll be so nice. And we'll do it for Masai. We'll dedicate the second one to Masai. That's right. Dap to you. Fiercey. Monique is here. The super fan, Monique Lawrence, is in the house. Guess who's back? Back again. Monique's back. Tell your friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess na 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 na. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Yak deserves every penny. That's right. Decreed by the super fan, Monique Lawrence. She has decreed that Jakob Poeltl is worth every penny. That's right. And happy birthday to superfan Nav Bhatia, guys. It is Nav's birthday today. Happy birthday, superfan. Superfan Nav. Yeah, he's the only superfan in the Hall of Fame for the NBA. NBA Hall of Fame superfan Nav Bhatia. A success story, a great Canadian success story. We love you, Nav. Happy birthday, Nav. That's right. James is saying Jakob's sign-in was a priority. It's hard to get starting caliber centers via free agency. Yeah, this is totally true right here, James. Totally true. In some ways, it's like the Raptors have had a hard time keeping depth at the center position. And Jakob has just been essential. And without him, it's like, whoa, what are we doing? We're playing as kindergartens in high school. That's what it's like when it's like that. So, yeah, it's essential and it's fantastic. And I'm glad Sandro has showed up also. That is going to be very, very important for us this year also. The size needs to be shored up. I see that our old friend Kelly Olynyk got traded yesterday. Got traded out of Washington. Thank God. He did not deserve that. Marcus Smart, Chris Middleton, CJ McCollum, they deserve that. But not Kelly Olynyk to have to play for the Wizards. No. And Kelly got traded to the Spurs yesterday. So Kelly will be the backup for Cornette and Wembanyama in San Antonio. And he's actually a really good pickup for them. I really like Kelly Olynyk on that team. In some ways, he's kind of making up for them losing Sandro Mamu. So, yeah, Kelly, thank God you got out of Washington immediately and didn't have to actually go there this season and play for them. So he's a Spur now. And I can – that's much more palatable for me that our great Canadian Kelly Olynyk is a Spur instead of Wizard. Seymour's here. Good to see Seymour Pape tapping in from the Stampede City, Mountain Time region, Scarborough 2. He's tapping in from two places because his body is in Calgary, but his heart is in Scarborough. And there you go. City Slicker, how are you today, sir? How are you today? Always good to see the sheriff in the house. Fiercely saying, I think people are finally starting to understand ESPN is garbage. Yes. If we let them know and talk about it enough, they'll understand it. Why are you thinking this is a viable news source and you're basing all your basketball opinions off of a media conglomerate that belongs to ABC, Disney, that is not really friendly to the Canadian team up here? We're not in their market. They are marketed towards the Americans. And in some ways, they don't have any reason to try and sell our product of the Toronto Raptors in a positive way. Because in some ways, they don't want people to be Raptors fans in the United States like Bryce Lawson of Kentucky. No, they don't. They don't. They want them to be fans of an American team. And whether you're supporting the Toronto team, that's the Canadian team. And if you support them and buy their merchandise, maybe, God forbid, the money's going to Canada. You bought a Raptors hat in Florida? What are you doing? You sent money to Canada. Don't you know we're in a trade war? No, we cannot promote the Toronto Raptors on ESPN correctly like the other 29 NBA teams because, God forbid, economics go to Canada. Oh, that's a lot of it right there. And understand that, Raptors fans and Raptors Nation, that don't be gaslit by this. Understand their motives and their reasons for why they do what they do. That's right. Why they do what they do. That's right. Seymour saying Olynyk on the Spurs, Branham and Wesley go to Washington. Yeah. Spurs fans like this deal a lot. They do. They're all about it. They wanted to get rid of some of these young guys in their team the last couple of years. People like Zach Collins, people like Malachi Branham. Yeah, Malachi Flynn. Yeah, they wanted to get rid of these guys. They feel like they could have upgraded on a lot of these guys. And while they're happy with Kelly Olynyk's veteran leadership and his bag that he brings of skills. And so this is a move that's very positive and received very well by Spurs Nation from what I can see so far. Very, very happy about it. Fiercely saying, how come some teams already completed their 4th summer league game and we haven't had one yet? I can't wait to see them Friday night. Well, and yeah, we kind of talked about this earlier this week about the California Classic and the Salt Lake City Classic. And why the hell do 8 teams get to go and start the summer league early and play a whole bunch of games before the other teams at Vegas? I have no idea. It's always been like this, though. It's not like it's weird to me because it's always been like this. And I think it's been like this since I started watching in the 80s. That, the summer league's evolved. I think in the beginning, summer league was like a loosely planned thing that wasn't really all together. And you'd be lucky sometimes if your team got like 2 or 3 summer league team games. And you'd have to sign up and join like the Salt Lake City Classic is a thing that's been going on since the 80s. That California Classic has been around for decades. And it used to be that they were like the Salt Lake City Classic, the California Classic, maybe there's an Orlando Classic down in Florida, and then another Eastern Classic. And there were like 4 of them. And all the teams would go to different ones, and they would just be at those ones. There wasn't a central one at Las Vegas like there is now. And so the summer league was always pieced together, and it was never really joined together with the whole entire league. It was just kind of 4 teams agree to come to this site and play the summer league games. I think part of the reason why they do the Salt Lake City Classic and the California Classic still is the history, the prestige, the carrying on of the tradition. In some ways, they could probably do away with the Salt Lake City Classic and the California Classic and just have all the teams come to Las Vegas at this point. The Las Vegas Summer League has turned into a huge event, and it's a whole thing now. And that's part of it. So I guess that they're holding on to the old tradition of the Salt Lake City Classic just for historical sake. But yeah, I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair that 8 teams have already played a big chunk of summer league already and gotten their young players more seasoned. In some ways, you could say they got more reps to come into these games to compete better in Vegas. And that's annoying. And that does seem unfair, Adam Silver. So I don't know. Maybe you need to look into this and as far as your gaming and fairness committee, because I think this is unfair. And I think that in some ways, all the teams should get the exact amount of same summer league games. Now, it's weird because in preseason, the teams get to choose how many preseason games they get. So it could very well be sometimes it's on the different teams. But I don't think the Raptors have ever been invited to the Salt Lake City Classic or the California Classic. And could this be gatekeeping? From certain teams are only allowed to come to those, and some teams are just not invited. That could be the case, and that's kind of messed up, if you ask me. That's not up and up on the fairness level, Adam Silver. So maybe you look into it. If it's not a big deal, well, maybe we're starting to make it a big deal. It wasn't a big deal in the past. Well, maybe this is a competitive league. It's of a parity, and there's we want fairness in this league. And if this seems unfair, we want to change. That's how I feel about it right there. Seymour saying Bradley Beal wants Clippers and Kawhi is happy to move back to the 3 spot. Okay, so the overtures that Bradley Beal's can probably go to the Clippers have been there. And, well, it'll be just the latest stupidity thing with Steve Ballmer and his team. And just take Bradley Beal out, put in James Harden, take James Harden out, put Russell Westbrook, take him out, put Paul George in there. It doesn't matter. It'll be the same shit. And it's not like Bradley Beal's going to be an upgrade for them at all. Bradley Beal's washed. He's a name only in name, and he's not a good player to have on your team. He's not a winning player, and he's had to eat some humble pie because his no trade clause has been like a thing of enmity and anger from Suns fans who absolutely hate him at this point. And in some ways, it's such a dumb thing, man. He's such an idiot, honestly. And Bradley Beal's stunted growth is very, very interesting. There's a lot of reasons why his career went so bad. And he had really, really poor decisions that he made. He could have been a way better player in this league, trust me. But his ego got in the way. Let's just put it that way. Stargate's here. Good morning, Rapid Freak crew. Good morning to you, Stargate. Good to see you this morning. Fiercely saying, Olynyk wanted to retire a Raptor. It's still possible, I guess. Low-key, Caitlin Clark was smart in asking a trade from the coach who snubbed her for Team USA. Olynyk, yeah, he wanted to retire a Raptor. It may be that he only thinks he's going to play a couple more years, and he thought that would be realistic, that he could just kind of stay on contract with us. But no, he's gotten traded like 3 times since. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's been traded 3 times since being a Raptor. Man, it's crazy. Caitlin Clark traded the coach that snubbed her. That's why she didn't want her to be coaching her. Yeah, that was a good trade. That's a good trade there. Let's see. Most saying first open gym moments are out. Summer League. Let's go. Yeah, it's good to see that gym back, that ballroom. You know, in the past, I've been critical of that gym and wondering if it's good for people's shot with such an active ceiling. It's kind of distracting from you when you're trying to shoot with all the stuff up there. But they're there again, and it's infamous, and it's kind of just a tradition, like the Salt Lake City Classic. It's a tradition now. The Raptors will rent the Wynn Casino Ballroom and have their headquarters and practice in there. And more of the veteran players who aren't in Summer League will be showing up there and putting in work there too. Yeah, they'll be showing up. That's right. Seymour saying Spurs fans are stoked to get Kelly. Yeah, they're very happy about it. They understand what he's going to bring. And, they're shaping up to be a very interesting squad this year, San Antonio. The jump that we thought they'd make once they got Victor Wembanyama has been delayed. But I think it's coming this year. I think this year will be finally the year that the Spurs will make the playoffs with Victor. Finally, this year. I think it's going to happen. They have a much better makeup to their team at this point. They really do. Fiercely saying, Trevor J, make it happen. Let's see you in that hall. Yeah, we want to see you. Take a picture in there, Trevor J. Infiltrate the Raptors practice ballroom and give us the deets. Yeah, Operation Ballroom. Dun, 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 dun. That's right. Go, Trevor. That's right. There you go. And Seymour saying hi to Eye Candy. There you go. Trevor's saying, I have to get up early. It's only 6 a.m. in the morning. That's right. Trevor's on a different time zone. He's kind of like Seymour. And he's up really early right now to help me do my show this morning. Commissioner Fun, Trevor J, I appreciate your effort to be here and the earlier time at the time zone out there in Mountain Time. Yeah, you're in Mountain Time, right? You're not Pacific. Vegas isn't Pacific time, is it? Or maybe it is. I'm not even totally sure. Seymour's saying, yep, that's the West Coast life. As a Raptor freak, got to get up early to eat. There you go. Or you could be like some of the other Raptor freaks and watch me not live. You can sleep in, just watch me later. And I always tell people, if you're not going to watch me live, watch me at 1.5 speed or 1.75 speed. My long streams will go by very fast. And because I try to clearly speak, you should be able to still understand me, even if I'm talking like Micro Machines Man from the 80s commercials with the Micro Machines. You get the police, Micro Machines. Yeah, Micro Machines. Yeah. Let's see. Mark saying that Seymour, great thing about living out west, Raps home games starting at 5 or 5:30, and West Coast games starting at 7:30 instead of latest 8 p.m. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, man. Like West Coast time for sports is weird. And like the other thing that was weird to me in the past was like, sometimes they used to have the late night talk shows on at like earlier in the evening. Like you'd be watching the Tonight Show. It's like 9 p.m. With Johnny Carson. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. It's weird. Yeah. West Coast vibes and time is very different than East Coast. For sure. For sure. There's a whole different vibe to living in California than living in Ontario. Oh, yeah, there is. There definitely is. And Mark likes the earlierness. I mean, it's tough on us when they are out west. The Raptors are playing the Trailblazers. I'm up till 2 a.m. watching a game because that game won't start till 10:30 and it'll go till 12:30. And then I have to stay up and watch the interviews afterwards. And I'm not going to bed till 2 or 3 a.m. when the Raptors on the West Coast playing a team like Portland and Oregon. Yeah. It's in that case, that's really good where you guys are because you're in the right time zone and it's not going to mess you up. That's right. Mark's saying, let's be fair. Dallas didn't want to pay Jalen Brunson. I'm not hearing that's true. That's something they tried to make up as a cover for basically the NBA pushing Jalen Brunson to New York. I think that the Mavericks have been used by Adam Silver to, have these guys like Luka and Jalen go to other teams. In some ways, I don't think this is true because Mark Cuban actually said something about this, and he was the owner at the time. He said he did everything possible to want to sign him back, and he would have given him the money. That wasn't the issue. Jalen Brunson had made his mind up, and he was not going to go any other choice. And part of it was Rick Brunson and his dad in New York. And part of it was that he all along wanted to be a Knick his whole entire life. I mean, there was pictures of Jalen Brunson in New York with his dad. He's from New York, and his dad's been a player for the Knicks and a coach. That this was just kind of like, you know what? We don't care. We want him to be in his hometown. And that's also signaled by, if it's really about the money, why did he take the lower money to help his teammates be signed on in his current situation? So no, Mark Cuban's on the record for saying we did every single thing possible to try and retain Jalen Brunson, but he was going to walk no matter what. We had no choice. We had no chance, is what he said. Basically, we had no chance, and he didn't want him to leave. In fact, that was part of the unraveling of him being the owner of the team. Is that like that kind of things started to spiral out of control to the point where the Adelsons bought the team. So, man, Mark Cuban said I would have done things totally different. He would have kept Jalen if he could have. He would have, yeah. Let's see. Mark's saying, and Rick Brunson was already on the New York staff a bit before Jalen got there. That's right. I will agree. New York ownership is a mess. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's why the plan was always there. Rick Brunson's been a Knick like for so long. I mean, like I said, he played for them. And then he basically went from playing for them into being an assistant coach for them. So he's been involved with the Knicks franchise for like decades. And like I said, there's pictures of Jalen Brunson in a Knicks shirt as a little kid in the arms of people like Latrell Sprewell and Marcus Camby, you know? So Jalen Brunson was a little kid that was around the Knicks team, programmed to become a Knick later. And his allegiance came through when he turned his back on the Mavericks. His choice. And went to New York. That's right. That's it right there. Yeah, the New York ownership is a mess. James Dolan himself is a mess. He is a mess. G saying Brunson took a pay cut for the team. If they fire his dad, I don't think that would go well. That's what I'm saying. Doesn't this sound toxic as hell? Like, seriously, doesn't this sound toxic as hell? He took a pay cut to keep the team. If they fire his dad, he'll get pissed. But his teammates are pissed because his dad's on the team. There's nothing good here. There's nothing good here. On the download, there's a shaky ground centered around Rick Brunson on the New York Knicks. It's very, very interesting. Fiercely saying reduced role doesn't look good. I'm just saying. It could be he's sitting on the back bench and he's not going to be one of the main assistants. Maybe he's an analytics guy now. Maybe he's like, yeah, Mike Brown's like, hey, Rick, you can go scout the next 5 teams. Hit the road, Jack. And he's not even traveling with the team because he's going off and scouting ahead of teams that are going to play. There's all kinds of things Mike Brown could do to try and keep him away from the team. Yeah, this is all really bad for Knicks Nation. Listen, I was right last year. I wrote your demise last year in July too, and I was exactly right. What happened? It was hilarious. I love being right about the Knicks messing up. Well, I'll be right again this year. This is going to be the thing that pulls them apart. Is this thing. And the crazy thing is Mike Brown is not established as the coach of the Knicks yet. So he's on shaky ground already. And in some ways, you know how Knicks Nation's going to be about this, overanalyzing it, toxic, all crazy on social media. Oh, this is going to be fun to watch, guys. This dumpster fire for the Knicks this year is going to be hilarious. And they are going to fail and fall flat on their face. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. I feel really confident in this one. Just like I felt confident about the Knicks and the Sixers last year and how they're going to fail. I still feel confident about both of them for the same reasons, honestly. Really. Kaz is here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Free Crew. Good morning to you, Trucker Kaz. Good to see you, man. Seymour saying, yep, love it. Get to see all the games, and the Brunsons want the key to the city. They will fail short, like the Brunsons flops. There you go. He's like he's throwing in a couple of disses in there on the flops and the falling short. I like that. That's something like that. Yeah. Let's see. Monique saying Kelly is a Spur. The guy being moved left and right. This is so much better for him. I know you were happy about this for Kelly Olynyk also, Monique, because seriously, you don't want to be on Washington. You really don't. You really don't. That's who you all should have called out, Bill Simmons. Oh, you're going to say they have a really good window coming up because the young players on their team? No, man. I looked at their roster, and their oldest player is like Justin Champagnie, and he's 24 or something like that. It's like crazy. He's their oldest player right now in Washington. Their team is just a bunch of kids at this point. Oh, yeah, there are some older guys like with CJ and Marcus and Chris Middleton, but the rest of the team is all super young. And I don't know, man. Like I said about the Wizards, they've had great young cores in the past over and over again, and they don't ever get anywhere. So why do I think that it's going to happen now? Why do I think it's happening now? Thank God Kelly got out of there. That's all I got to say. Seymour saying, I hope IQ lights his ass up. Knicks are going to regret choosing Brunson over IQ. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. I want Knicks Nation to be so pissed because Emmanuel Quickley has just gone so far and beyond. This is why, and think about this. Remember, a lot of media for the NBA is centered from the New York City, and their proclivity is to be Knicks fans. So why wouldn't it be in the favor of many sports writers for Bleacher Report, ESPN, whoever? They have that proclivity to sewer the hell out of RJ and Emmanuel after they left New York. Because in some ways, perception is reality in today's weird world of media. They're trying to say that these guys are this and this because then it makes it look better on the decision on the Knicks to go with Brunson over it quickly. And, you can really figure this out logically with critical thinking. The motives of why journalists or talking heads or opinion columnists would make certain opinions. First of all, you need to always look and see where the author's from. If that author's from New York City, that author's from Philadelphia, that author's from New Jersey, well, they're going to have a bias, and it's not going to be towards the Raptors. Just trust me on that. So you got to remember that kind of stuff, guys. Yeah, and I hope you're right. I want to see Quickley be a better NBA player than Brunson by the end of his career. For sure. For sure. Fiercely saying, Lex, sorry to ask, but can you clarify the Discord channels? Two of them mentioned Raptors, and I wasn't sure where I could post the Kelly Olynyk being traded. I've seen basketball news and other. It's all mixed up and all confusing. In some ways, Mike, in his goodwill, he wanted to add extra channels to get it more organized, but in some ways, he made it more confusing. What this is basically, Fiercely, there's text channels on Discord and voice channels. And I use the voice channels. He put in some text channels to be a depository for stories in a reference place where we can fast reference maybe things that have come out recently so we can look at it. But I would say post things in the voice channel that says Raptors, which above the other channel. And then if Mike thinks it's something that needs to go into those text channels, he will forward it over there. And it's easier for us to find it. That's kind of the system. So use the channel we've been using, the Raptors voice channel on Discord, for those kind of posts. And if he has to, he'll put it up on the other thing there. Channel where we discuss politics is supposed to be the other channel. The other channel is the politics channel. Stargate saying Chris Middleton didn't deserve that either, Lex. No, I don't think Chris Middleton deserved that. No, you're right. Marcus Smart, yeah, sure. He deserved it. CJ McCollum, yeah. He deserved it. Yeah. James is saying we got a deep roster this year. A lot of talent. 45-win season incoming. I love that. James, you want to dunk? I love that. Future's so bright. Let me get my shades. I need my shades. Future's so bright. I gotta wear shades. That's right. I got a weird teacher. He wears upside down glasses. Things are going great, and they're only getting better. I'm doing all right, getting good grades. 24 dunks for James. Yeah, there you go. Kareem saying, I know everyone has their own lives, but given how young our team is, it would be awesome if they all just trained with each other. When I was playing football, we trained all winter together. Well, they're going to do this. We know they're going to do this. In some ways, this is the summer, the meat of the summer in the middle. And, guys are around each other for what? 10 months of the year almost. So this is like the 2 months of the year where the guys aren't all together. And there's nothing wrong with that. You remember last year when they brought that rookie class in, these guys spent the whole summer together and then the whole year together. And we don't want them to get sick of each other. There is a bit of a time where they need to kind of have time apart. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. And, having a little bit of time away from each other allows for them to come back and say, hey, man, I missed you, man. It's so good to see you, Grady. You're so funny, Grady. I'm so happy to be back in the room with you, Grady. You're awesome. That's important. That's important. So a little bit of the difference of being with the team, without the team, they're going to be together. They'll be together in a couple days. Watch. because a lot of the older Raptors will show up in Vegas as Vegas Summer League starts because they want to go to the parties. They want to go and see the hobnobbing. They want to go and see the different displays and big wigs, and they want to talk business. They want to come and meet the young players that we just got. They want to come and practice with them in the ballroom. They want to come to the Summer League games themselves and sit at the courtside and watch them. So I would fully expect some of our bigger name players on our team to show up very soon. That's normally what they do. They love the event in Vegas. I know Scotty loves it personally. He loves going to Summer League, even if he's not playing. He likes to go there just to be around the action and seeing what's going on. So they should all reconvene together in the next couple of days. Now, will they stay together after that? Like, will they all get on a plane and fly back to Toronto and go to the OVO Center and work out here? Maybe. Maybe they'll get on a plane and go somewhere very exotic, like they went to Spain last year and practiced in Spain for a week. The Raptors are going to get their practice time in as a contingency as all together. Trust me, they will. And they have a lot of months still before the next season. So, let's see where they are in August. Let's see where they are in September. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. Kareem's saying bring the team together and build so much cohesiveness. Hopefully, Coach Darko has a trip planned for them. I'm pretty sure he does. Darko's still in Athens, finishing up the Coaches Summit as a keynote speaker in Athens, Greece. And Coach Darko will be coming back to North America. Maybe he's back already. Maybe he's flying back as we speak. So, that's a lot of it, too. He's got to get back in time because, he's going to have to go out to Vegas. He may not be coaching the Summer League Vegas team, but he'll be there kind of seeing how things are going and giving direction. And, he'll probably be coaching in that ballroom. Oh, yeah, he will be. He'll be coaching in that ballroom. I know he will be. Wayne's saying that morning Raptor Freaks saw Giants of Africa vlog yesterday. Really uplifting. Goodbye, but not a goodbye. Masai had years to plan because fuckface ain't that smart to outmaneuver Masai. Bobby has 2 years. Yeah. That video that was released by Giants of Africa on Monday on Masai's birthday saying thank you to Toronto was just high class, high quality, really amazing. I love it so much. Thank you. And what you're saying here is not really goodbye. This man is a part of our fabric of our culture here in Canada now. And in some ways, Masai Ujiri will never, ever be forgotten in any kind of way. They can dismiss him and say, oh, we don't want you here anymore. But we do. We all want him here still. And it's just the owner who doesn't. Everybody else involved with the Raptors would be like, yeah, we want Masai right now. It'd be awesome to have him back right this second. And in some ways, spiritually, he's still with us no matter what. And we know also he's got our back. Is what he was pretty much saying on Monday in his tribute video or his thank you video, is that I've got y'all's back, especially the Tempo and Teresa. So, I'm excited to see what Masai does next, but don't rush it. Don't rush anything, Masai. Be methodical and planning and make sure it's the right step. And I say in the NBA, there's a few good steps you can make. There's a lot of bad steps you can make. And so be very, very cautious with your next step is what I'm saying right now. Yeah, be very cautious. Seymour saying, hope Ahmed is good. Didn't y'all tell him to find a trophy or something? Yes, we wanted him to locate the Naismith Cup because we think it's somewhere in Tel Aviv that the Maccabi Tel Aviv stole it. Well, didn't steal it. They won it, but they took it home and they put it in their display case, their trophy display case. And Ahmed's not in Israel right now. He's actually here in Canada for Global Jam, and he's visiting with his grandfather and his family. So he's not able to do the job right now. And he said he won't be able to check on it until the season starts. And he'll go to a game, and he's going to go through their arena, and he's going to look at all the cups they've accumulated. Apparently, they have a lot of championships all over that arena. And he's going to see if he can locate the Naismith Cup. Because the Naismith Cup is a mystery right now. Nobody knows where it is exactly. And we have a lead on this. I'm going to try and figure it out. And Ahmed is our guy investigating this. So see, Raptor Freaks are global, baby. Trevor's at the Vegas for the Summer League this week. And Ahmed will be investigating the Naismith Cup mystery when he gets home. Now, I would say this. Ahmed, don't be in a rush to get home because they're bombing things over there right now. And in some ways, man, maybe you should have an extended summer vacation with your grandfather here for a little while. Seriously, I don't even know if the airspace is safe to fly through because of no peace in the Middle East with the bullshit going on over there. Seriously. Aditya, good morning to you. Welcome to the Raptor Freak channel. We're here every morning talking 9:30 a.m. on Raptors. The Raptors used to play their summer league games in Utah in the early 2000s. It used to be called the Rocky Mountain Review or something. Yeah, that's what it used to be called. The Rocky Mountain Review was Salt Lake City Classic. I think it's the same thing. The Rocky Mountain Review was in Denver, though. I think that's where that one was. Yeah, there were so many. There were like maybe 5 or 6 different summer leagues going on, and they were very separate from each other. And I think the NBA wanted to kind of have the prestige of saying this is the summer league champion for the year, so they centralized it in Vegas with the way they do it now. Yeah, Aditya, thank you for the comment, and that's Rocky Mountain Review. That's right, and that was around the Nuggets, I believe. And that was the one we used to go to. That's right. We didn't ever go to the Salt Lake City Classic, I'm pretty sure. But we did go to the Rocky Mountain Review. I do remember this. Fiercely saying, watching live is not as interesting as we can interact. I prefer the live streaming. Yeah. I totally understand what you're saying, but not everybody is able to watch right now, maybe because they're working or they don't get up this early. I understand either way, but I appreciate my audience, whether it's live or watching me later on in the day. And I appreciate that you guys appreciate me being steady and showing up every day and doing what I do. Kareem saying Mark and Seymour on Demon Time. Yeah, well, that's West Coast time. You're going to just say everybody's out on the West Coast or on the Mountain Time is Demon Time? Oh, that's an allegation. That's not very nice. That's a generalization allegation. That's what I'm saying right there. Trevor's saying, I love watching the live streams, man. It's better. See, Trevor don't mind getting up this early. He's early where he is right now watching me. But in some ways, it's like, let's wake up with Lex. Let's get this day started in the right way. And let's get some positivity. Let's get some words of wisdom out there. That's what Trevor's thinking. That's right. That's right. Seymour's saying Jalen made his decision before the free agency clock started. Yeah, he knew he was going to New York. He probably knew he's going to New York like Cooper Flagg knows he's going to Boston right now. Cooper Flagg, when he was the number 1 pick for this year, he knew immediately. It's like, yeah, I'm going to try and find my way to the Celtics somewhere, somehow. Seriously. It's that kind of bond. That's why it's so special, the bond with RJ and our team, guys. It's like it makes sense. It's hometown hero stuff. And it's the team he rooted for. Jalen Brunson rooted for the Knicks. So as soon as he was drafted by the Mavericks, he's biding his time to get through his rookie contract. And as soon as he was a free agent, boom, he went to where he wanted to go. And that's what it is right there, guys. Cooper Flagg will be a Maverick as long as he has to be. And then he will take the hell off and go to the Boston Celtics. I'll bet you money he will. I'll bet you money he will do that. I said this before he even got drafted. He's going to be a Celtic at some point. It's not that I want that. It's just that I know how these things work. And especially if the NBA loves that story. And Cooper's going to want to be there because of his family, because he's a Celtic fan his whole entire life. He's going to be on the Celtics because in some ways he could turn to the Mavericks and say, you know what? I thank you for my rookie training, but now I'm going to the team I always wanted to be because I'm a free agent and I have the control of my destiny. So, I mean, they could max extension, Cooper Flagg all they want. But when Cooper gets the chance, he will jet from Dallas, just like Jalen Brunson did to go to New York. It's the same thing right there. It's the same thing. Seymour saying tampering. It's tampering. No, it's just people's preferences and their life and Zach Edey. Well, let's think about him. You think that guy's going to be saying, yeah, I want to go to the Raptors at some point? Probably. I bet you he will. He'd be like, it'd be fun to play in front of all my old friends in Toronto and be goofy with them. Yeah. Maybe get a speeding ticket on the 401 driving a Kia Sorento. Yeah. And then he can go check on his beekeeping mom real easy because he's in Toronto. So it makes sense. That's why I say Raptors Nation, stop poo-pooing the connection of RJ being on our team. This is special. It's special like Jalen Brunson playing for the Knicks. It's special. So stop acting like it isn't. Yeah, let's see. Fiercely saying, okay, got it. Thanks for clarifying. No problem. Then no problem. Anytime there's questions, no dumb questions, just ask the question and we'll see. We'll give you the answer. That's right. Seymour saying, at Kareem, if you're walking, you should just be passing Winnipeg right now. This is from the other day because Kareem was like, I want free breakfast in Calgary at the Stampede. And we were saying, well, if you're going to start walking, Terry Fox this shit, run for us, run. You better get going. And well, Seymour's checking in on him. He's saying you should be by Winnipeg by now. If you walked all the way around Lake Superior. You should be in Winnipeg by now. Oh my gosh. All right, Seymour, you're funny, man. You can get a dunk for that. All right, Kareem, where are you? I'm sure he's at his house in Mississauga. He has not even left. Well, you're supposed to be in Winnipeg by now, man. What are you doing, bro? 115 for Seymour Pape. That's right. That's funny, man. That's funny. Where's your update, man? We need a Santa Claus tracker for Kareem Thomas. Where is he? Kareem said, can't we just have a Raptors channel, NBA news channel, and another channel? Yeah, that's kind of what I asked Mike to do, but he wants to organize things for archive and different things like that. I would say post wherever you guys want to post, and we'll let logical Raptors fanatics sort it out afterwards. It's like, yeah, guys, don't worry about the rules. Just post where you want to post. It's a mishmash. Maybe not post in the text channels, post in the voice channels. And the text channels can be the place where we put all the information so that I can quick reference from the show. That's really why we did this, is so that if I want to go on Discord all of a sudden and pull up something that we were talking about, I don't see a whole bunch of comments between you guys. I see the actual things I want to talk about. That's really kind of why we did this. So Wayne's saying, Raptors fans who dislike fuckface are somewhat conflicted. Raptors winning is good for both fans and owners. The wish is for Raptors to increase in value and fuckface to cash out on his investment. That's an interesting scenario. So you want them to do really well, and then Rodgers will leave that. He won't, though. You know he won't. You know he won't. I'm telling you right now, now that he's got this, he's not going to let go of this for a long time, maybe until he dies. So we have to be ready for the reign of King Edward III until he dies, pretty much. I don't see the ownership changing for the Raptors in our lifetime, at least. I mean, well, in his lifetime. Let's just put it that way. It could very well be it goes right to the fourth, that it's going to be King Edward IV right after the third. And we'll just have to see how that goes. Maybe that kid's a little bit better person, like a little more well-rounded. Maybe he's not too mega-ized. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe he's a rebel. He's rebelling against his prick dad, and he'll be very different than him. That'd be great. But I think that's the best case scenario here with what's going to happen. I don't see what you're saying as being realistically happening. I don't see it happening. Yeah. Fiercely saying, welcome to the RF channel. Aditya. I think Aditya was there before, but I'm not totally sure. Kareem saying at Seymour, I had packed water and everything. Okay, so he was going to do this trek. He was going to hit the road. But before I left, my wife asked where I was going. Okay. Okay, hang on. Let me collect myself here. Hang on. This is good. This is gold, man. Okay. All right. I said I'm going to Denny's. And she got super mad that I didn't invite her. Good thing I didn't tell her it was the Edmonton location. Wow. You're not even going to Calgary? You can go all the way to Edmonton? That's crazy, man. You were committed. You're going to go the extra mile to go to Edmonton, not just Calgary. Wow. Well, if I was her, I'd be mad too, because that's your special place with her. And all of a sudden she's hearing you're going to walk to Denny's without her. What are you doing, man? You really got to watch out. You know the rule. Happy wife, happy life. Don't be messing with this, Kareem. This is hilarious, man. This is hilarious. All right, you're getting a dunk, man. You guys are getting a dunk. This whole thing is hilarious right here. You had the water ready. I'm just imagining him with like this crazy amount of water jugs just tied around him like it's a suit. It's like, I have my water ready. It's like, he's just like a Michelin man of water bottles around him. That would be crazy. It's like, that would seem like that's the amount of water you might need. Although at a certain point you're carrying so much, it's probably not worth it. I don't know. You could always just bring a canteen and fill it up, I guess. I don't know. 153 on the dunk chart for Kareem. It was probably good that she caught you at the door and you didn't just get out there and get going. All right. Stargate saying, look forward to seeing Darko's system this season. No more development system. winning time system now. A lot of high low and big to big passing, especially in and out of the post. Oh, I love this. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be like a discernible change, like where it's going to be like, oh, this is this. What it's going to be is the guys are going to be more adept and knowledgeable and experienced in doing it. I don't think the system's going to change too much. Now, it will evolve, and they will add maybe more complex layers and more difficult kind of interactions in the play sets. But I don't know if it'll look that much different than what we've already been doing. Now, the things will be like, all right, the increased performance and experience and better play of the young players getting better will show in it. Adding higher talent onto the team just dramatically with Brandon Ingram will show in it. So those things will make the difference. But the philosophies and a lot of what they're going to do it'll look a lot like last year, but it may be executed way better and at a higher level. That's what I think is going to happen. Great comment, Stargate. I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing Darko's system evolve further with adding more complexity to it. It's coming. Yeah, Trevor's saying Blue Jays on a roll, 10 games won in a row. Yeah, this is fantastic. Sweep the Yankees, beat the hell out of the Angels, and keep on winning. That's right, Blue Jays. I'm not watching y'all, and y'all are winning. Thank God. Kick ass, Blue Jays. Make some MLB noise this year and the postseason. And let's get Toronto behind their baseball team once again. Let's go, Blue Jays. That's right. Stargate saying lots of back cuts and duck ins and half-court sets and look for a lot of fast breaks off turnovers. Yes, I think that last part is really true. Like I said, this draft, the word that we drafted in this draft, 2025 draft, with Colin Murray Boyles, Elijah Martin, and the add-on afterwards of Chucky Hepburn is steals. Those three guys are steals machines, and it's going to be a lot. You know what I think the Raptors are going to be like? Listen to this. You know how when you played basketball video games, maybe, I don't know how old you are. Some of y'all are old heads like me, about to be 50 next month. You may have played Sega Genesis, and you played like Lakers versus Celtics. You may have played Super Nintendo, and you played NBA Live 96 or something like that. Well, a strategy in playing those games is spamming the steal button. In fact, watching Scotty play NBA 2K on Twitch in recent years, it's still a method that people use to win games in video game basketball. Is you just run around the guy who has the ball on the other side, and you spam the steal button near them, right? And you just steal the ball and run back and score over and over again. You guys know the strategy I'm talking about. If anybody played basketball video games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, what if the Raptors are putting this in real life, guys? That whole strategy of spam the steal button at the half court like crazy, cough the ball up and run back easy baskets over and over again. That's a winning thing in video games. In fact, you can run the score up on people if you're really good at spamming steal on people. So why wouldn't this be a strategy the Raptors are doing? It's not realistic. Your stat line on NBA Live 96 is like, I got 30 points on layups, and I have like 12 steals with one player. It's like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be cool if we see this kind of steal spam Raptors defense. You know exactly what I'm talking about. If you play video games, you know exactly what I'm talking about right now. That'd be awesome. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Blessings, beloved Raptor freaks. Family, believe you can, and you are already there. Now live with that present future mindset, which is the substance of things hoped for. Beautiful, beautiful words of wisdom. I love the words of wisdom from our great elders and Randolph Phillips and Trevor J. and just the wise things that they say. It really, really is awesome. And I appreciate you guys for this. And I think the years are really awesome. It's like visualize success. Visualize it already being a part of your life. And boom, it's there. That's what it is. There's a lot of keys to manifestation and belief in having it and already having it. Oh, well, guess what? You already have it. There you go. Sometimes the power of belief can just be that powerful. Blessings to the Phillips family. All the Raptor Freak families out there. That's right. Trevor J's calling for the classic car. We're getting close to the end of the chat here. Wayne saying, not from my experience. I've seen super rich people sell very profitable enterprises. One wealthy family member said, the only thing he won't sell is his wife. Rogers didn't create. It's not a project. I'm just saying this because the end goal for him is now here. Why would he sell it now if the end goal was to have the monopoly on major sports in Toronto? Because he has the monopoly now. He has the Jays, he has the Leafs, he has the Raptors, he has TFC, he has the Argos. Actually, the next logical step, Wayne, is to not sell those teams now that he's got them, is to try and get an NFL team here too. Seriously, this is what he's trying to do. He's not trying to get rid of these assets. I know you're right that what you're saying is right, but not in this case. You've got to understand the end game was to always get to this point with him, and he wants to sit on that throne and just keep it. Seriously, I would believe he'd sell the company of Rogers before he'd sell the sports teams at this point, because in some ways, even though that's his namesake, I'm just saying it's not likely. This is the end game. The end game was him forcing Larry out and getting the sole ownership and power over these teams. And he's got it now. He's got it. He's consolidated that power. And he's not going to let it go now after waiting so long for Larry to be out of the picture and being able to be this power player like this. No, his ego won't let him do this. Just think about what you're saying. He finally got all the stones, Thanos, and that's what he's trying to do the whole time, was get all the stones in sports in Toronto. The only one he doesn't have is the tempo, and in some ways, that is going to hurt him in the end. Watch. That's going to hurt him. Trevor's saying, what did you think about Teresa's interview? Teresa Resch doing it. This interview was old, but they released it recently. I could tell it was old because it was done in the Raptors locker room, and Kelly Olynyk's name was on the locker room wall. So it's like this had to have been done before the trade deadline this year. So let's say maybe it happened in January at the latest. But it's a great interview. It's very talking to Teresa about her journey as a sports executive and how she became the president of the Tempo, and talking about not being a basketball player but working in basketball, and all the things that they're doing, how exciting it is to be in charge of the Tempo and the very early beginning here. And it's like they're setting a culture. And she's very big on saying this is not a moment. This is a movement. That's one of her big statements right now. She's been saying a lot. And that's good, because I got a little worried with I'm into like words and word bases and stuff like that. And the word tempo is the short form of temporary. And we don't want this team to be a temporary team. We want this team to be very successful and go forward for a long time. So she started to put the statement around it, said, this is not a moment, this is a movement. And she's right, because the culture of the Raptors built around her and Masai Ujiri, that was a culture. That was a sure culture that Masai and her set with the Raptors feel of things. And she's going to do the same thing with the Tempo. She already is. And I'm excited about that. But yeah, that's a good interview. Teresa is learning on the job, and it's not totally a smooth trip. Let's just put it that way. I'm excited to see who they hire as a coach. That's kind of the next thing coming up. Yeah, Monique saying W Stream, W Vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew strong forever. Just helping me limit the comments. Yeah, I appreciate you, Mo, as a producer. Give me the cutoff on my stream. I've got about just over half an hour in the 2-hour window if I do want to go that far, but maybe we'll finish up sooner. We'll have to see. But she's also saying it's maybe only Summer League. Glad we were here. This is the thing. Monique wants basketball to watch. In some ways, of course, playoff basketball, Raptors in the finals, winning a championship, that's the ideal. But, she'll take regular season. She'll take preseason. She'll take Summer League. If it's the Raptors jerseys worn on the chest, then Monique is happy. And well, let's see. We got 2 more days, Monique, and then we're going to see the Raptors play the Bulls, 8:00 p.m. Eastern time, Friday night. Yeah, let's get ready. Friday morning, I'll have the preview for the game. I'll go over the matchups. I don't know if I'll have the referee report, because I don't know if they released the referees for Summer League, but I'll have all the pertinent information about the other team and our team, and kind of go over a preview of what to expect. Bulls and Raptors, Friday night, Summer League. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. Stargate saying Sega Genesis, the original NES with Duck Hunt and Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And Zelda. I also had an Atari 7800. The first system that I had when I was a kid was ColecoVision. Yeah, I know. You just dated yourself, Lex. ColecoVision. Yeah, and I had like Pitfall, Popeye, Donkey Kong, and Smurf. Yeah, I had the Smurf video game, which was basically your little Smurf walking through the woods and Gargamel's evil creatures coming after you. And you have to jump over a rock, or if you hit the rock, you fall over and get hurt. That's so dumb. I always bug me if you like walk into a rock. What the hell is that? Come on. But yeah, video games, old video game systems, fun. Yeah, and you know about that spam and steal that I'm talking about, right? It's kind of like in Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, a fighting game. People that just hit buttons, the same button over and over again, and they like win that way. It's like the slide kick over and over again. Slide kick, slide kick, slide kick, slide kick. Boom, you win. You know, that kind of stuff. Well, spamming steal in basketball video games is a long tradition. I think the Raptors might be breaking the plane of reality into it, from video game to reality, just like Tron. Yeah, this is what's going to happen. They're going to bust through the spamming of steal button from video games and put it in real life this year. Watch. Seriously, I'm going to predict this right now. We were already stealing the ball a lot already. We got guys who jump in passing lanes. We got guys who hound the hell out of people full court and make them cough the ball up all the time. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a big part of our defensive scheme, is the spamming of the steal button like a video game. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Stargate saying he would sell it because he don't like basketball. You guys think he would sell it because he doesn't like basketball? No. In some ways, he'd want to have control of the whole market so that he can manipulate it on the down low, maybe even water us down in certain ways, like we've talked about, Stargate, you know? No, let's not get it twisted. In some ways, he wants control. That's the thing he wants the most. Profit, sure, but control and ego. That's what it is right there. That's the ego right there. Stargate said, I agree with Wayne. Never underestimate the white supremacist mind, Lex. It trumps everything. Yeah, that's the word for it. Even money. It's like a religion. Well, in that way, then let's organize and figure out a devious plan to usurp him out of his position by using his own ego against him. How will we do that, guys? How will we do that? How can we get Eddie the Third to let go of the Raptors in some sort of weird like judo way, where it's like we use his own energy against him, step out of the way, and let him fall flat on his face and make a poor decision? I don't know. I don't see it, guys. I wish I could see it the way you guys see it, but it's all about control. Let's not forget that's what it's about. And if he sells the team, he doesn't have control of it anymore. So he just got it, man. I don't think this is going to happen. I wish it would. Trust me, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think you guys are not exactly seeing this exactly right. Let's see. Wayne's saying, I can see the total concentration of Toronto sports as fuckface's motivation. My thinking, like Stargate, is that he doesn't like basketball, but that can be motivation to keep the damn franchise too. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, especially if the Raptors have outshined the Leafs and the Blue Jays more in the last 15 years under Masai. Well, get rid of Masai, dim the light of the Raptors a little bit more, and let the Blue Jays and the Leafs have more of the shine and artificially hold them back, hold the Raptors back in different ways. That's why I'm really worried about this. Is trusting in Masai, you know, the captain of the ship is sailing the ship in the right speed and trying to get somewhere in the right way. But with new captains at the front of the ship, we don't know if they're actually trying to go all out. And as I was speaking with a friend of mine recently, we know the penchant for Toronto sports teams to only want to get profit from sales of tickets and merchandise and not really care about winning. And that's what I really worry about the most with the Raptors, is that we won't make those final stages or investments to really go for chips when we're close. And that's the thing I'm worried about right there. And in some ways, he can control that if he's the owner. That's the thing. Seymour saying Cam Whitmore shared a pic when he was young at a Wizards game, getting his jersey signed by Gortat. Yeah, I was going to say Goat. I'd say, oh, Michael Jordan? He's on the Wizards. No, Gortat, Marcin. Oh, yeah, that's not anywhere near the same thing. It really isn't. Cam Whitmore was with Gortat. Well, maybe Cam Whitmore had a dream like Jalen Brunson did to play for a team, and his team was the Wizards. Oh, man, some of these dreams did come true this week. I also heard that Cam Whitmore was supposed to be traded in the Kevin Durant trade to Phoenix, but Phoenix did not want him. They prefer 2 second-round picks instead of Cam Whitmore coming there. And thus, he got put in Washington. Oh, it's crazy, man. That's crazy. Stargate saying, I have the same concern as Wayne. Ed has shown his hand as a staunch SWS and will operate as such. Yeah, and that's worrisome. But then again, on the down low, when the veil was covering up all the white supremacy in business and corporations and hierarchy of society, we didn't see it. It was behind the veils. It's just now we can see it. In some ways, that's better. We're more aware of it. And we know that it's real. And we're not gaslighted to think, oh, there's nobody behind the scenes doing these things in this way. Does that make sense? But yeah, that's why once again, I mean, I wish you guys what you're saying is likely, but I don't see it being likely. I really don't see it being likely, which is sad because I'd love for him to sell the team. Obviously, I'd love for him to sell the team. Who knows? If I'm pleasantly surprised in a couple of years and it does happen, I'll be so happy. And I'll be like, you guys were right. Yay. And I'll be happy. I want what y'all are saying to happen. Don't get it twisted. I'm just trying to be realistic about this. Stargate saying, what was that console that had Contra? Contra was on and Nintendo. Contra was on Nintendo from what I remember. Of course, Contra was a scroller with two guys with guns that walked along and jumped and flipped. And they got different gun add-ons and they could shoot different sprays of guns different ways. Contra. In the cover of Contra, they kind of ripped off Arnold Schwarzenegger from Terminator and Sylvester Stallone from Rambo. That's what they were doing with like video game covers back then. The artists would just kind of like all of a sudden you see like Fabio or something like it's a romance cover on the front of it, but it's not exactly Fabio. That kind of shit. There was like some Wizards and Warriors game or something that had Fabio on the cover of a video game. It's kind of weird, man. Kind of weird. Let's see. Mischief's here. Good to see Mischief. Good to see the base man. That's right. How you been, Mischief? If you ever want to tow a boat with a car, buy a 13-foot, 6-seater Boston Whaler. They only weigh 275 pounds. They're unsinkable, like the Raptors franchise. I love that, man. You know what? I'm going to give him a dunk. He just like gave me good advice, and actually advice I want because I'm thinking about getting a boat. And then he even tied it in with a badass comment about it's unsinkable, like the Raptors franchise. Mischief, you're a badass, Jay. You're a badass. Baseman coming in here, laying down a groove real quick. That is awesome, man. All right, Mischief, you're at 15. You got that Vince Carter 15, my guy. That's awesome. Yeah, I know Jay's been down south and he's around boats. And I'm thinking about getting just like a kayak and maybe going kayaking in the lakes around Ontario just for fun, getting into a new little kind of extracurricular activity. Because there's stuff around here for me to explore in a kayak, that's for sure. And don't worry, I'm a very good swimmer. I'm also a trained lifeguard. So I can get out there and be in the lakes and I'll be all right. I can swim in those lakes. That's right. So yeah, you're saying a Boston Whaler, a 6-seater Boston Whaler, 13-foot, 6-seater. Okay. All right. I think that I'm going to get something smaller though. Maybe just a one-person boat just for myself. Maybe a paddleboard boat. I don't know. That's what a lot of people are doing in Ontario too, is they go out the lakes with paddle boats and they stand on it and they paddle like this. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do exactly. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I do want to get on the lakes. Why not? There's so many of them around me right now, and they're beautiful. And it'd be kind of fun to get back in the water. That'd be so fun. Stargate saying, man, I want the Kilmer group to get this team so bad. I know, me too. But the sad thing is there's a couple things working against it. Larry was already in charge of the Raptors. It's going to be very unlikely he'll be able to be in charge of the Raptors ever again for the rest of his life. We got to understand, Larry's in his 80s. And it's not likely. Now, I don't know about the successors in his family or in his organization who might be taking over Kilmer Group in the future, but who knows? I mean, once again, I thought the surest shot or the safest shot or the possible shot of getting ownership out of Ed Rogers' hands on the Raptors is Drake. And that's him organizing himself with other very, very rich people that he knows and getting an ownership group himself. I would love that. As much as some people don't like Drake's association with the Raptors, it'd be way better than Ed Rogers. We know this. So that was one alternative I thought could happen. Maybe it's Drake with Larry in a certain way. Who knows? But yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's a tough situation. And guys, we just got to accept that Ed Rogers owns the Raptors at this point. And, well, we just got to move forward, eyes wide open. Well, they're in the gyms, in the ballroom still. And that's a good sign. that Ed Rogers put the money up for them to have the Wynn Casino Ballroom for their practice facility again this week. That's a good sign. We're going to keep note, and we understand how it was run before, and we're going to pay attention. If there's some changes, we will note them, and we'll call you on it. Rogers. That's right. We see some changes. Y'all start cheapening on some things. We'll call you out on it. Yeah, if you're not bringing it the way we used to do it when Masai was around. That's right. That's right. Seymour saying Edmonton ain't got the free breakfast. Okay, so you overshot, Kareem. You overshot. You went to Edmonton. They got a mall there, but there ain't no free breakfast in the mall. So you overshot. You were only walking over there to get the free breakfast, and now you gone all the way to Edmonton. You went further than you had to, and they don't even have the free breakfast. Man, Calgary does. Calgary has a free breakfast. Edmonton has the ENE, almost like the CNE. They have the ENE, the Edmonton National Exhibition. Edmonton National Exhibition. Okay. If you're saying Fabio, aka the I can't believe it's not butter, dude. Yeah, Fabio model, known for being on romance covers with his long mane, and he was on a couple of like medieval video game covers too in the 80s too. You can go find, I think one of them's called Golden Sword or something like that, and it's like Fabio's on the cover of a Nintendo game too. Yeah. Do you know, Fiercey, the story about Fabio going on the roller coaster? Yeah, he went on a roller coaster like at Canada's Wonderland, and he got hit in the face by a seagull that was flying through the air. And it kind of was like, it really messed up his modeling career because his face was all busted up. Like he got black eyes and he's like, it's all crazy. Like, what are the odds of you riding on a roller coaster and your face is going to run into a flying seagull like that? And of all people, Fabio, whose face was like insured by Lloyd's of London. You know, it's like, my face is my whole life. I can't believe it's hurt. I can't believe it's not butter. His whole life in the hands of a seagull flying in his face on a roller coaster. That's crazy, man. I love talking about that story. It's just ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. Seymour saying Cornette starts. Olynyk is backup. Wembanyama wants to play the 4. Yeah, and that's a better position for him. This is exactly right what Seymour's saying here. I don't know if Cornette will start, but he could. They paid him a pretty handsome price to come to San Antonio. And I think that it's a great fit. I like Cornette. I hate the Celtics. In some ways, I didn't like him being on the Celtics, but I like Cornette as a player. And I'm so happy he's on the Spurs. So now I can be a Cornette fan. Couldn't be a fan of his before when he was on Boston. Yeah, Wembanyama is more naturally slotted at forward. In some ways, he's not even a 4. He's a 3. Seriously. Because he's just such a slasher. In some ways, he's a slasher. He likes to set up outside and take those threes if he's free, but often he'll put the ball on the floor and he'll be attacking the rim, which is crazy for a guy his length and size. Seriously. I think you got this right, though. Olynyk definitely going to be a backup 4-5. Cornette may be the starting 5, and Wembanyama is the starting 4. I think that's about right. Kaloy said, only way I see Rogers selling is if Silver forces it, but then there would be a danger of someone buying it and moving it to a new place, which is bad. Yeah, in some ways, we want things like it would have been ideal if Larry could have just been the owner, and this didn't ever happen. Maybe if it had been the opposite, if Bell had bought out Rogers' stock and became the primary owner, that may have been a better situation. But there's different situations that could be even worse than Ed Rogers owning it. So I don't know. In some ways, we can't control this to a degree. We're just going to have to watch and see what happens and just report on it and keep our eyes wide open. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, Wayne saying not to belabor the point, but it's not for selling. It's not for selling Raptors now, but after another championship in 3 years, value at its pinnacle, and then capitalize in 5-6 years. It's not immediate after, although 6 is near. You know what? This is a great point by Wayne, and you know what? I'll get behind this. I like that you put a little bit more out of this. Let's say the Raptors win their second championship in the next 5 years. And all of a sudden, the valuation of the Raptors goes way up, and Ed sells it then. This I could see. You just needed to give me the preface of saying, well, the Raptors win, their value is shot up all of a sudden, and he's getting out at that time. That I could see. That makes more sense. Now, him just selling it just because it's selling it. So in some ways, we have to win the championship to do this in some ways. So you see, and if he's holding us back from winning the championship, well, what the hell? I don't know. In some ways, I could see this scenario you're saying here, though, Wayne. I'm gonna give you a dunk. And we're just going through the whole thing and figuring out from all sides and what could be possible. And in some ways, I mean, we're gonna just go through and see what reality is, and hopefully, maybe something like this happens. Something like this, I don't know. Stargate saying Mega Man is my favorite, personal favorite, and Super Mario Brothers 3, best Mario Brothers game. Yeah, that the Super Mario Brothers 3 was pretty fun with the worlds, and you get the little raccoon tail, and you can fly and stuff like that. My favorite is always Super Mario's original, just because it's just such a classic. It's just such a classic. Super Mario 2 was weird, man. It was a totally different game in Japan, and they just kind of used a weird game where you pull up turnips and made it into a Mario game, and it didn't totally fit. But Super Mario Brothers 2 is so weird and different than the other ones that in some ways it's kind of really cool, honestly. Like the levels were all different directions and weirdness. It was just a weird game, Super Mario Brothers 2. But a lot of people do like 3 the most. A lot of people do. I'm a traditionalist. I'm more a number 1 guy myself. Let's see. Mega Man bosses are tough as F. That's true. Mega Man was not the easiest game. I liked Mega Man. I thought the levels were fun. But it's true. When you got to the boss, you were dealing with something. Kaloy is exactly right. Fiercely saying, oh, wow, I never knew about the Fabio story. This is sad. Well, his face healed. And honestly, it was like pretty good publicity for him. It's like, even though it was a joke, and a lot of people thought he was a joke already, women loved him because he was so hot and he was on their books. But men were jealous. They're like, Fabio, whoa, that guy, he seems like he's a little light in the loafers or something like that. He's always saying stupid shit, toxic masculinity stuff against Fabio. But, all publicity is good publicity. And even though he got hit in the face by a seagull on a roller coaster, that put him in the news and gave him a little bit more preeminence. I mean, there's not many male supermodels that are well known, right? Fabio is maybe one of the few. We know about Christy Brinkley, Cindy Crawford, Linda Evangelista. There's so many female supermodels, but there's very few male supermodels. And Fabio might be one of the very few on the short list. I don't know. You can think of other people like Marcus Schenkenberg or something like that. I don't know. Maybe Mark Wahlberg before he went to the Funky Bunch. I don't know. There's not a lot of male supermodels, and Fabio is one of the few. And that press from getting hit in the face by a seagull helped. It helped, yes. Double Dragon. Yeah, GoldenEye. Yeah, that's James Bond, right? That's right. Superfan saying news. Yvonne, CMB's mom, highlights every moment of his journey via Instagram, similar to me. Nice to see. There you go. Okay. So Colin Murray Boyle's mother, Yvonne, is a good follow on Instagram, is what Monique is saying, if you want an insight on the Murray Boyle's journey. Okay, good information, Monique. Good information. Kaloy saying Double Dragon, Contra, and Metal Slug. Metal Gear. You know what? One of my favorite video games back in the Nintendo days was Super Dodgeball. Yeah, and they had like the different countries' teams, and that game was fun. Like on the down low, you run up and you had like trick throws on Super Dodgeball. Yeah, that was a fun game. I also really liked Rampage from back in the day. You guys remember Rampage? You'd be like Godzilla and King Kong, and you climb up. You go from city to city, destroying the buildings. And if you hit the window, there might be a naked lady in the bathtub, and you ate her. That game was fun. I like Rampage, man. Contra. Yeah, we're going through the old school video games today. That's fun, man. Centipede on Commodore 64. Centipede, man. Centipede in the arcade, that it was a ball. It was like, it wasn't a joystick. You had to use a little ball. And it was weird because the centipede could only go up to the left, to the right, and down. So it's not like there was a diagonal and you spin the ball diagonally or anything like that. Yeah, Centipede. Well, we're going way back here, man. Centipede. Trevor's saying, you guys making me crack up. Well, that's good, man. That's good. You want a little entertainment? He's laughing over in the Vegas Summer League. Are you on your way to the ballroom? Take a lot of water. That's the advice from Kareem Thomas. Take a lot of water, especially because you're in the desert in Vegas, in Nevada. That's right. Trevor J is in Nevada, baby. Summer League, baby. Let's go. That's what Trevor said. Let's go. And he went. See, we're saying, which Raptors is the biggest video gamer? This is a great question. I would say the top 5 video gamers on the Raptors right now may very well be Scotty Barnes, number 1, Emmanuel Quickly, Chris Boucher, Jonathan Mobo. I think that's pretty much the most of them. I think those 4 guys are the most video game oriented on the team right now. I think most of the other guys don't play a whole lot of video games. I really don't. I don't see RJ being a big video game guy. I really don't. Jakob, nah, he's not playing the video games. But these guys are. Those 4 for sure. I know Emmanuel's playing COD and 2K. I know that Scotty's playing quite a few different games usually. And then, yeah, Chris is playing COD, and he's online from time to time playing. And Jonathan would always play with Scotty. So, J-Mo's in there playing too. I think Shed plays a few video games too himself, but I don't know if he's like super into it. I don't think Grady plays video games. I don't think Grady Dick is very big on video games. But yeah, I think it's those 5. I would say it's those 5. Scotty, Emmanuel, Chris, Jonathan, and maybe Jamal Shed. I don't even think Jakob Poeltl plays video games, guys. I really don't. I haven't gotten any signs from them that they're into it at all in any kind of way. Let's see. Kaloy saying, I just really hope that the Masai firing calmed Eddie's boy's ego and then let the Raps operate as it is. We make him out to be a boogeyman, but there may be a little bit. We may be not giving him full a chance, is what I'm saying. And that's kind of why I'm like, all right, they fired Masai. It looks bad, and we hate him for it, obviously, just for that. But in some ways, the slate is still clean to a degree as far as his effect on the Raptors and whether it's positive or negative. And we have to see going forward, it's the post-Masai era, if it can be successful. Well, in some ways, we can have a piece with Ed Rogers III. It's just we go crazy if things go south, is what we say. If we want things to be great. We want things for them to win and go to the playoffs and win championship. But if it's not like that, well, we're going to start blaming Ed Rogers. He's the scapegoat now that Masai is gone. It's that easy. We had success the whole time Masai was in charge for the most part, considering even the bad stuff in Tampa and all that. We still had success. So what we go now is, well, if we're successful, we're happy, right? We go to the playoffs. Our team is winning. We're fun to watch. We're enjoying ourselves. Then everything's good. But if things go south, that's when we come after Ed then. That's when we come after him. That's right, guys. That's it right there. So in some ways, if Ed is going to be a good owner and we're going to win and be successful, well, we're content. How about that? And maybe he'll understand that and he'll try and do that. And we are successful, then everything's all right. I'm not going to get pissed off when we're winning at Ed Rogers. I'm going to get pissed off at him if our team is falling apart because he's running it in a really bad way as the owner at the top. That's when I'll get pissed. But he's got a chance. And right now, everything's fine. We got to go through time and see how things go. That's right. Wayne saying, I am not expecting any major changes for 2 years. Masai set that up already. Any changes are with a new president and a new direction after 1.5 seasons. That's why I'm almost certain Bobby's gone. Well, we don't want this. And honestly, that's not for sure. Don't be certain on this at all. Because in some ways, Bobby is very, very slick and smart. And he may be able to coexist with Rogers and Keith Pelly very fine. I would give Bobby a chance. He's very, very smart. And he understands what he needs to do in the middle of it all to make sure he's doing things the right way. So I'm not going to agree with you on this. I don't think that it's for sure that Bobby's gone when his contract's up. I think if he does a really good job, Keith Pelly will keep him on. Seriously. I think that the personal grudge was really just with Ujiri, guys. I really do. Most saying Scotty and IQ are video games. Yeah, Scotty and IQ are number 1 and number 2 on the video games. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Mo's saying that Elijah Martin has said he's looking forward to playing against LeBron James. Yeah, you're lucky. You came in at a time where he's still here. He may not be here for much longer, and you're lucky that you're at this time. You come in a couple of years from now, LeBron, that opportunity may not be there. And I would say this, Elijah Martin, there's no guarantees you're going to get to play against LeBron. Let's just put it that way. You may not get to play in the game against LeBron, or LeBron may not even be healthy a game when we play them. So don't count your chickens before they're hatched. You still have not played LeBron, but hopefully you will get that chance to. Hopefully you will. That's right. Yeah. Seymour saying thank you to Mo. And Fiercely saying current Raptors are IQ, Scotty. Former would be Dennis and Terrence. Yeah, those two are very big on the Twitch and playing video games. Terrence Ross, Dennis Schroeder. Yep, they're on there playing the video games, but they're not current, so I didn't name them. That's right. Let's see. Andrew saying, hey, guys, hope everyone is well. It's good to see Andrew. Andrew's been a little bit. I know in the summer people get busy. You know, we're not in the middle of the thick of the season. And Andrew's taking some time off. He's coming to say hi. Hey, guys, hope everyone is well. I'm so excited for Summer League. Our roster's pretty stacked. It's stacked, and it's got the most continuity and experience together as a team. And I expect you guys to play more like a team than the average Summer League. Y'all need to have your shit together a little bit better than most of the other teams, because y'all are familiar and you should know each other way better than the other teams. 10 returning players to our Summer League that have played with each other. So these guys should all know each other really well. Ulrich Shamshay, Tyreek Key, Quincy Guerrier, all the J-Rooks from last year, Colin Castleton, AJ Lawson. Yeah, there's a lot of time on the court with each other already. And they shouldn't be showing up like they're fresh together and not knowing each other at all. They know each other. They've had time to work with each other over this past year, and they should be advanced compared to the other Summer League teams for this category. Seriously, they better be. If they're not using that and looking like that, something's really wrong. And these guys need to get their heads out of their ass, is what I would say. All right, I got 9 minutes on the clock, and then I'm going to get out of here, guys. Stargate saying one-on-one basketball on Atari 7800 had Dr. J and Larry Bird. You could break backboards in that game. I remember that game. That game was pretty cool. Andrew saying, I don't think Bobby is gone. He just signed an extension recently. Well, what Wayne's saying is after that extension, he thinks he'll be gone. I don't think he will be, though. I agree with you. Let's see. CC, you giving a red card to somebody? Who are you giving a red card to? That's no good. Fiercely saying, Lex, I also root for Bobby to stay, but agree with Wayne. If the new ownership wants to destroy Masai's legacy, Bobby and Dan may be gone within 2 years. The team needs a win. If not, it'll be an excuse for them to be let go. Either way, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Let's just see how things go. Take it day to day and stay present. And let's not forecast bad things happening in the future. Let's just hope for success and go forward. And that's what we got to do. But I mean, I won't disagree with you guys that if Ed really wants to destroy the legacy of Masai Ujiri, he can do it in different ways. And getting rid of Bobby Webster would be the next one. Although, why wouldn't he just fire him with Masai? If he's planning on firing him in the future, that makes sense to me. He would have just fired them both if he didn't see value in keeping Bobby Webster around longer. So it could be a continuity thing where he was like, well, we want continuity and we'll phase to this. That could be true too. We'll have to see. Let's see. Wait, is that countdown, Andrew? Is that a countdown? Is that countdown? Yeah, countdown to the game on Friday, 2 days from Summer League. That's right. Fiercely saying, but I'm being positive and hopeful their grudge ended with Masai was gone. Yeah, the grudge was really Masai and Ed. Ed has a grudge with Masai. Masai didn't even have a grudge with Ed. He really didn't. And he's trying to poo-poo it and make it like, no, there's no issue with me and Ed Rogers. We're fine. We're fine. Nobody needs to talk about this. But there was always on the down low. It was a one-way street. It's not that Masai had a problem with Ed Rogers. It's just Ed Rogers had a problem with Masai. Andrew saying, I don't think they want to destroy Masai's legacy. They just thought he was overpaid, I think. Yeah, that was the first thing he said, but that's not just it. There were a lot of other reasons why Ed Rogers wanted to get rid of Masai. It's a symbol of Larry Tannenbaum's power in the league, in the team. Is Larry was protecting Masai this whole time, and it's a symbol of his gaining the reins of power from Larry Tannenbaum. He's dismissing Larry Tannenbaum's favorite person, Masai Ujiri. So there's a little bit of that. Some of the grudge in the feud, it may not be totally Masai versus Ed. It's more Ed versus Larry in some of the ways, guys. You got to remember that. Let's see. Wayne saying signing extensions mean nothing. I signed to continue my former boss's plans, not commitment to fuck faces. We want success for our team, but as Lex correctly states, we are observers, love it or hate it. Yeah, we're just on the outside seeing what's going on, and we're just going to have to see what happens, and we'll react to it every day, 9:30 in the morning. That's right. Classic card. That's what that is. Not a red card. You want the classic card. Yeah, we're going to do it very, very soon. No more comments, guys. I have 6 minutes. We're going to finish this up. Stargate saying, fuck it. I'm going to say it. Raptors healthy is a number 2 or 3 in the East, putting it out there in the universe. I say it too. I say that. What do we used to do? Raptors. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2025-2026. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2026. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2026. Put it out there in the ether. Speak it into existence. That's right. Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2026. Keep saying it. I'll say it every day like a mantra. Like I'm doing yoga and I'm saying Toronto Raptors, NBA champions 2026 over and over again. Over and over again. That's right. Yes, yes, and yes. Kareem saying paying Masai top money is no problem for a billionaire. This move was only a power struggle and hate that Masai gets more attention is beloved. Yeah, it's like in some ways, it's like it's public. It's a public show of power in some ways. Like Ed Rogers said 4 years ago, I wouldn't have paid you that much. And there was a little bit of a feud. Well, he came around and he finished it. And he said, yeah, you're gone. And that's what it is right there. Yeah. Andrew saying, maybe I need to start the countdown again. Yeah, we can do that again, but I would do it for the regular season. You and Monique will probably be on that. And but yeah, we don't need to do a countdown for 2 days to Summer League. We're going to be there so soon. Tomorrow, Thursday Think Tank. I'm not sure what the subject will be, but the call-in show will be in effect tomorrow. You can call me on the phone, and we'll put you on the air tomorrow. Isaac's got it cut off for me. I appreciate that. Andrew, yep, start the clock. Let's go. All right, start the classic card clock. We're on classic card now. Let's see if we keep this going. Oh, wow, this is a good one. This is fun. All right, guys, classic card of the day. Full name answer will get the classic card points. It's easy. You better know who that is. That's right. You better know who that is. Right there. Who is that? Y'all know who that is. Come on now. If you don't know who that is, we're going to need an NBA lesson here in a second. There you go. Stargate knows. It is Mr. James Worthy of the Showtime Lakers, number 42. They call him the silent assassin. The man would not talk on the court, guys. I don't know if you guys knew this about James. James was never, ever saying anything on the court. He was always coming at them and scoring. Look, another guy who averaged double digits every season and that his career there on the Lakers. Look at that. 13, 14, 17, 20, 19, 19, 20, 21, 21. Yeah. This guy to me is like RJ to Scotty's Magic Johnson. This is the relationship that Raptors fans need to realize. This is RJ Barrett and Irvin Magic Johnson is Scotty Barnes. And if you can understand the dynamic of Worthy and Johnson from the Showtime Lakers in the 80s, you can understand the dynamic between Scotty and RJ Barrett on the Raptors. So yeah, James Worthy is a 50-point card. It's too easy. It's too easy, Stargate. It's too easy. I'm sorry. I can't give you too many points for that. It was an all-star. He was a very prominent player that was well known. But yeah, the harder known players, you get more points for those. But James Worthy, 50 points for Stargate, getting the classic card of the day today. Let's see, Stargate is on there. 50 points. Boom goes the dynamite. There you go. All right, let me run through the tabs a little bit more. You think Worthy was underrated? Yeah, I think so too. I think that he gets forgotten in the shuffle of things because of people like Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson, because he was a secondary like superstar for the Lakers. But he was a very important, really good player. Seriously, he was really good, really, really good. Started saying when the Lakers got that number one that year, we were like, what? With the number one for Worthy? When they got that number one, they got a little help. Was he a number one pick? Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's a big deal. And it's kind of crazy, too, because they had just gotten like a really high pick for Irvin, right? I don't think Irvin was number one. Wasn't Bird number one in his draft? I'm not totally sure. All right, let me do the tabs and get out of here. We do have the straight goods on Canadian goods for you real quick. Guys, we're talking cookies today. And I know there's all kinds of cookies you can get out there. You love cookies. You want cookies? You can get Acadian maple cookies that come from Nova Scotia. Yeah, they're made with a local maple syrup. And you can get some cookies. Kinnikinnicky Foods cookies. They're gluten-free cookies. Shasha cookies. Cookie it up. Mary McLeod's shortbread. New Moon Kitchen. Real Treat. Sweets from the Earth. Bear Paws. And here's the one I want to talk about here is Dare. Dare Foods is a Canadian-owned company with multiple manufacturing plants in Canada. And you know the Dare cookies you see at the store, those are Canadian cookies. So you can buy those Dare cookies. And there's like the maple cookies, bear paws, all that kind of stuff. You know, you can get those cookies from Dare. That's the right company, Canadian company for mainstream cookies if you want them. So buy Dare Foods Canadian cookies if you guys are going to buy cookies. So there you go. There's your straight goods on Canadian goods. Y'all check on your WNBA fantasy teams. There's a lot of hot and heavy action here. Cool Cat and Cass have a very good matchup going on right now. It's very close, as well as Logical Raptors Fanatics actually losing to Edmond right now. So you maybe want to get going, Mike, on that one there. Raptors Reddit, what are they talking about? Kyle Lowry coming back for a 20th season. Throwback to a kid asking him his best day in Toronto. I still think that they should make the Raptors against the Sixers, the last game of the season, with the Philadelphia 76ers coming to Toronto on the last game of the season. So we can do something really, really cool. Look at this, guys. We're actually championship contenders for the odds at Vegas for the Summer League. The Utah Jazz are the favorite right now. They did go undefeated in the Salt Lake City Classic, the Jazz Summer League team, but the Raptors have the second best chance, it looks like, to win in Summer League, it looks like, which is pretty dang good. They have a plus 700. That's pretty good. So we have the second best chance to win at Summer League, according to the odds makers. So that's pretty damn good. All right, there's enough of that. Let's see. Is there anything interesting on Blue Skies? Probably not. Probably not. Just a horrible dystopian U.S. political news. Happy birthday, Nab Bhatia. As I said earlier, it is Nab's birthday today, guys. So wish the superfan Nab Bhatia a birthday. Happy birthday wish. There's a new Mike Roach out. Okay, Monique just posted a new Mike Roach podcast on the Facebook group. There you go. All right, let's see. Is that it? Am I done? Am I done? I think I'm done, guys. And there I am at 2 hours. All right, let's see. When the Lakers got that number, okay, that North Carolina team was stacked. Yeah, Michael Jordan, James Worthy, Sam Perkins. That was a very, very good one. Big Smooth. That's right. Brad Doherty, he was a little bit before them, I think. He wasn't exactly on that team. All right, guys, thanks for watching the Raptor Freak Stream. Wild Wednesday. Oh, wait, we didn't do the wild card. Should I do the wild card real quick? Might as well. Let's open up the Wildcard Wednesday pack. I promised it earlier. I don't want to forget. So let's see who I get in the pack. We'll go a little longer. Oh, wow, guys. First card, baby. Yeah. Ha-ha. I got a Grady card. I don't have a Grady card. This is awesome. This is a great treat to have Grady Dick Raptors card from Panini. Very, very good. W, that's right. First card I pulled, Grady Dick, Toronto Raptors. That's staying. That's getting a pin in it. Who else we got? Lee Kyer, Kyle Anderson. He's in the Timberwolves jersey, but he's on the Warriors, but he got traded to the Miami Heat, but he's been traded again now. So it's like, I don't even know what to do with this card. This man's been all over the place. All over the place at this point. That's something. All right, let's see. Who's next? Oh, this is a pretty good card. Brandon Miller. Not a bad young player in the league right now. So this is a pretty good card. I believe this is this a rookie card? Is this a rookie card? It looks like it might be a rookie card, guys. So there's a Brandon Miller rookie card going in the classic card box. If you like Brandon Miller at our next get-together, this card will be available. You can take it. You can take it. Let's see who else we got. Oh, there's old Hemi Butler, Miami card. Franchise features for Miami. Yikes. The jersey is heat culture. That's a pretty funny card in some ways. All right, let's keep going. Rookie from last year, Ryan Dunn for the Phoenix Suns. Here's a Ryan Dunn rookie card for Dundras. Yeah, if you want that rated rookie, Ryan Dunn rookie card, you can come get it at the next Raptor Freak Hangout. Oh, let's keep going. Well, this is just awkward. How about a Luka Dallas Mavericks card? Oh, memories of what used to be. Memories of what used to be. Yeah, you get this Dallas Mavericks Luka Doncic card. Man, they put some good ones in here. Here's Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown card for Boston. We'll see how long he's going to be there. They've actually been shopping Jaylen Brown right now out of Boston. Thinking about trading him out. It's kind of interesting what's going on. Brad Stevens is adamant, though, they're not doing a rebuild. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You say, no, we're too good to do a rebuild. Motherfucker, you're rebuilding right now. Don't even try and lie to us, Brad Stevens. You know you are. Then the last guy I have no respect for, Evan Mobley. of the Cleveland Cavaliers as the last card. This is a pretty star-studded card pack, honestly. Of course, we love our Grady. Jaylen Brown, Luka Doncic, Evan Mobley, and Jimmy Butler. Yeah, it's a pretty good card pack. But yeah, this is the one right here, baby. That's right, our guy Grady. W's. Yeah, Luka in the Dallas thing. So Boston is not doing a rebuild? No, they're above it. Brad Stevens publicly saying yesterday, we are not rebuilding. That's not what we're doing. We expect to compete this year. If you tell your fans you expect to compete and then y'all tank on purpose this year, you're a liar, Brad Stevens, is what I'm going to say. Stargate saying, will Jaylen Brown be a Celtic by the beginning of the season? I don't know. They're shopping him right now. They are. That's right. Okay, Boston, the sky is green too. Yeah, laugh out loud. There you go, Fiercely. That's the right attitude. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the channel. I appreciate all of it. And join the channel if you want. Membership can have its privileges, and you're supporting the channel. And you get access to our Discord server and our Facebook group run by the superfan Monique Lawrence. That's right. Appreciate you, Isaac, for putting me on blast there. And I hope everybody has a great Wednesday for the rest of their day. And I'll be back tomorrow with a Thursday Think Tank. Call into the number tomorrow, and we'll talk some Raptors basketball tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Thursday Think Tank every week. The call-in show, baby. Let's go to Summer League, Trevor J, and get that Wynn Casino Ballroom picture. My man, Trevor, come on now. Get in there. Get in there and get that picture of the Wynn Casino Ballroom, the famous Wynn Casino Ballroom. Let's go, Tempo and Raptors.